Hi, I'm Sophie, and welcome to my world. You know, an interesting thing happens this year. Thanksgiving and Hanukkah fall on the same day. That is, the first night of Hanukkah is actually on Thanksgiving Day. So I started thinking about how can we combine these two holidays, and I came up with a Gobbleabra. Now, you could make your Gobbleabra for the 8 nights of Hanukkah, like I've done here, or if you want to, you could just use bigger candles and make your Gobbleabra just a turkey that happens to have some light at his end. So I'd like to show you how to make your very own Gobbleabra. Now, for this project, we are going to need some scissors. We're going to need a couple puff balls. I've got a large one and then a medium-sized one. I've got some googly eyes. I have 2 popsicle sticks, and these are the large tongue depressor kind. These are to help balance your pumpkin. Now, the thing about it is you might have a very solid standing pumpkin. If you got a solid standing pumpkin, you won't need these. But if you have a wobbly pumpkin, these are really, really important. Now, I've got 2 pieces of little paper here that I've cut. This is actually sparkly paper, but I've cut one into the shape of a small heart and one into the shape of a triangle. So I have those already done for me. I have some feathers. These are fun. And I need golf tees. Now, the golf tees are very, very important, as are these. These are 1/4-inch hex nuts, and these are very, very important. The 1/4-inch hex nuts are going to protect your pumpkin and everything from the burning candles, and that's really, really important. And these are the perfect size for a birthday candle, believe it or not. So we're going to be using 1/4-inch hex nuts, and you'll need 8 of these. Then you're going to need a hammer, and you're going to need a real pumpkin. Now, I know what you're saying, that's not a real pumpkin, and you're absolutely right, it isn't a real pumpkin. And unfortunately, when I went to buy a real pumpkin today, I couldn't find one. So I had a foam pumpkin, and let's just pretend, use our imaginations, that this is a real pumpkin. For this project, you want to use a real pumpkin, a living pumpkin. Okay, so I think we've got all of our stuff. We will want a glue gun. That is a fantastic thing to have here. And a hammer. Now, this is a rubber mallet, and I'm going to be using this. Both of these items are adult supervision, please. But I'm going to be using this to make holes in my real pumpkin. So remember, this is a real pumpkin, okay? All right. So first thing first, we need to make our holes for all of our candles. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our golf tee and we just place it in the top part of our pumpkin here and just give it a little tap. And when you have a real pumpkin, it's just going to go right in, just like that. Boop. And you're going to do all 8 of them just around like that. Now, of course, this is a foam pumpkin, so things are a little bit easier. But that first tapping might be a little tricky, and that's why you want to have an adult help you out with this, because we don't want any smushed fingers. Not for thanks, you won't be giving thanks for smushed fingers. Now, I've given myself an extra one of these fabulous golf tees, and the reason I did that was because I'm going to be using the extra golf tee to make holes for things like the feathers and the wings and stuff like that. Now, this is where all of my candles are going to go. And to protect my pumpkin and keep everything safe, I'm going to be using these 1/4-inch hex nuts. Now, what I'm going to do is place a little bit of glue around the outside here. Now, what I don't want to do is do a big dollop of glue, because what I don't want to have happen is I don't want to have glue fill up my hex nut. I'm just going to put that right on top there, blump, blump, just like that. This is really super important that as you're doing your gluing here, that you don't let those hex nuts fill up with glue. So keep an eye on that as you're putting your hex nuts on. Make sure they are not filling up with glue. You really kind of just want to do the glue on the outside tops of these golf tees, because this is where your candle's going to go, and you need your candle to have a hole. If you fill it up with glue, that's not going to be very good. So you could also use glue dots here, but I prefer using hot glue only because I know it's a little sturdier and a little safer, especially since it's holding a candle. Anytime you're working with flame, you want to make sure it's as secure as possible. And again, the reason you want to use a real pumpkin is because flame on a real pumpkin is okay, but flame on a foam pumpkin is no good. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. Now, I'm going to make holes for my wings. And I'm just going to make a bunch of holes here. Now see, again, because this is foam, it just goes straight on in. But then I can take my little feathers and stick them in all over. Like that. And I can do this on both sides. And I can make this as nice and full as I want. Again, though, keep your feathers down. Don't keep them up where the flames would be, so keep them down. Okay, now I'm going to glue my big puff ball. I'll put my big puff ball right here. This is going to be the bottom part of my gobbler's head. And then I'm going to take my other puff and put it right here. This is going to make kind of like the big neck, and there's his little head. Isn't that funny? Okay, so now I got to give him his eyes. Now remember, you can go to town on your feathers over here. Okay, there we go. Now he's got his eyes. And now to make his little gobbler part, I'm going to use this nice little heart. I'm just going to glue that on with a little dollop of hot glue. Now remember, all of this stuff can be attached with glue dots if you're working with kids. Okay, and now we're going to give him his beak, just like that. There's his little beaker. Okay, so I'm just going to stick a few of these in here. Now remember, you would be doing this with a real pumpkin, and so you'd be making your holes ahead of time. Now the only thing that we have left here is the candles. And so what I'm going to do is just take some birthday candles. And now for Hanukkah, you would be adding your candles one night after another night for 8 full nights. So on the first night of Hanukkah, you would only have one, like that, right there. So I usually like to start in the middle and then work my way out, but you could put it here too. And you would light your one light, and then the next night, you would add 2 candles, and then 3 candles. And you can see that they stick right in there as long as you have not put too much glue in the bottom. And you just keep adding your candles for all the nights of Hanukkah. Now, if you want to, you don't have to use this for Hanukkah. You could actually use this for Thanksgiving. And if you wanted to just make a larger hole into your pumpkin directly, you could just put a real big taper right into your pumpkin. You wouldn't need these little holders. Just drill a hole right in here and then put your taper straight on in, and you would have a big Gobbleabra as opposed to a Menorah Gobbleabra. I'll keep adding my candles. There we go. There we go. That's for my 8 nights of Hanukkah. Now, if you have a tippy, you can add these on the bottom with glue to keep it from flipping and tipping over, because you do want to make sure it's nice and sturdy. But this guy's pretty nice and sound. And there you have it, your very own Goble Abra. Isn't it beautiful? Now, as with any time that you use fire or flame, never leave this unattended, because you know fire is dangerous and a candle can burn low. You want to make sure that you blow these out before they get too far down. For more ideas to light up your holidays, come and check us out at Sophie-World.com.